and my colleague Charlotte Bellis. Charlotte, is it possible for you to give us a percentage, ballpark figure? How much of the country does the government still control?
Well, it is debated, but the Taliban have certainly picked up a lot of territory. Most people say that they have more than half of the country territorially. This all started in around April when US President Biden announced that all American and foreign troops would be out by September. That's when the Taliban started trying to take territory. At that time, they had about 80 or so districts of Afghanistan's approximately 400. Within about 2 months, they had more than 200. So that kind of shows you the speed. But a lot of that was rural areas, low density, kind of not many people living in these places and not a lot of commerce in those places either. It's only been within the last month that they've really started pushing for provincial capitals and circling them, tightening the noose around some of these cities. And then in the last week, have they actually started being able to take these provincial capitals? And now they have a lot of momentum. To put it into context for you, they hadn't taken a provincial capital since Kunduz, which was in 2016, and that was only very briefly. Now they've managed to take 9 in less than a week.
So in our last hour, Charlotte, you were explaining to us how the Taliban have got a lot of the roads under their control, the road network that links those provincial capitals. We were reporting 10 days, 2 weeks ago, they've got the borders, particularly up towards Pakistan, and they're getting ever closer to Kabul. One gets the feeling the momentum is with the Taliban, definitely not with the government forces.
Well, they've played this strategically very smart. They started taking border crossings about a month ago. They took Spin Bolduc, which is very important to the government revenue-wise. They haven't managed to take Torkham crossing yet, which is the biggest border crossing, and how Kabul kind of resupplies, for the most part, through Pakistan. But taking the border crossings has certainly helped the Taliban with revenue and then controlling the borders and the roads, certainly. I mean, when they took these rural areas, they've managed to take a lot of the roads, and it's very difficult now for the government to resupply. I mean, Mazar-Sharif is now under siege, essentially. It's the 4th biggest city in Afghanistan. Because they've taken a lot of these provinces in the last week in the north, that city in the north is now just an island of government territory. To get in there now, to resupply and to hold that city, they have to send in planes, send in helicopters. They flew in hundreds of special forces last night. We understand President Ghani also flew there this morning to kind of bolster their morale and try to hold that city, but incredibly difficult if you can't take in ammunition and personnel by roads.
We've got a reinvigorated diplomatic situation going on here in the Qatari capital, Doha. We've got the Taliban talking to the government, but no diplomat is talking about anything. So that kind of means there are serious negotiations ongoing, very much behind closed doors. How is that process perceived where you are, or is it just something that nobody's engaging with because they don't have the time, because they're firefighting?
I mean, people are watching what's happening in Doha kind of on the periphery, but yes, they're more focused on, they wake up in the morning and they say, what province fell last night? Where is fighting going to start today? And the perception here is that the Taliban is taking these gains and using them as leverage at the negotiating table. That is their strategy, if you will, and they're not slowing down. I mean, they take 3 provincial capitals last night, and they immediately turned, even just last night, as soon as they got them, they turned to another 3 provinces. There were 2 where heavy fighting erupted, escalated overnight in Ghazni and Paktia, which are just south of Kabul, and then also in the northwestern province of Faryab.
Charlotte, thank you very much. Charlotte Bellis there, reporting live from the Afghan capital, Kabul.